Hello and welcome to Not Every Single. I'm Joe.
And I'm Stephanie.
The new Rae Jepsen album has been out for a few days. We've taken it in. We've listened. The Loveliest Time, companion album to The Loneliest Time. I think it was great, and we've picked our favorite tracks from the album.
Each picked a favorite track.
Each picked a favorite. We're going to kind of reveal them to each other now. How's
Okay.
that sound?
Yeah, we can do that.
Kind of a different thing for us. I think you should go first.
Okay. It's hard to pick one. I have
Yeah.
a few standouts for me, but I think I'm going to go with Put It to Rest.
Okay, cool. That was one I didn't have.
Okay, awesome. Yeah,
I
'cause
was
sometimes
worried we'd have the same one.
Yeah, sometimes that happens.
Okay, tell me about Put It to Rest.
Okay, so this album, it's full of a lot of like up-tempo, very typical Carly, like fun pop songs. I think it's an example most of the time of really well done. There's a lot of 70s type of production again, like she's been doing.
Yeah.
And I think these are very well done versions of that. But there's a couple tracks on this album that I feel like push forward more in their production and are more creative in that way, and I appreciate that. So Put It to Rest for me was one of those songs. It's also not an up-tempo song. Mm-hmm. It's more of I don't know if it's a slow jam, but
that really the down-tempo songs really lended itself to like what we said we were kind of hoping for this album, which is like hoping that it would feel like later that night.
Yeah,
more of a reflective, like this really feels like a night drive album. And yeah, I thought that one was great.
I think the thing that really got me on this track was the drums.
Yeah.
It's those like fast kind of jazz drumming.
Really cool.
Which is just not, I don't think I've heard that on other songs that she's done.
The percussion was really stand out on this album. I didn't look at the credits to see like what session drummers she was using, but I had like 3 notes about like just the album overall while I was trying to pick my favorite song, and I put with exclamation points, I put melody, percussion, and the evolution of an artist.
Yeah, which I think this song is kind of the epitome of, and it's weird to not pick like Aeroplane and Shy Boy were like also standouts to me.
Okay. Shy Boy was the single?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I think it had leaked beforehand and stuff.
Little too like disco-y for my taste, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe not disco, but that like 70s smoothness that I've been hearing a lot of.
For sure. I thought it was a fun version of that. But again, yeah, like a lot of the like faster, more pop songs were like, yeah, these are really good. These are like what I expect. And then like Put It to Rest is like, I did not expect this in the best way. And so, that drumming, it really pulls you in. It's something different. It's like, by that time the album's been going for a while, and a lot of the songs are just, they're not like this similar to each other, but they're cohesive in this way where you can kind of like start to check out a little bit.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was like, whoa, what is this? What's this drumming? I thought like the panning with the drums and
Panning all throughout the record was great.
Yeah.
This is such a crisp, well mixed pop record that feels very warm in the sort of tradition of the last 10 years post like Random Access Memories, I guess.
Yeah.
This new 70s pop that's like expertly produced. It doesn't really get old when it sounds that good.
Yeah. Yeah, and this song has strings in it too, which is never really my favorite thing, but I don't mind it here. I think it's used pretty interestingly. I think it could have been still good without it.
I liked the strings in this album.
Yeah.
A lot of them were, if you listen close, they're maybe not strings, but like Mellotron, and that made it sound a little more like, almost like Air. I don't know if you've ever listened to Air.
A little bit, yeah.
I want to shoot a recommendation out there. If Collage was your favorite track, it wasn't mine, but it was up there. It was runner-up.
I like that one a lot too, yeah.
If Collage was your favorite track, or if you just really like that song, please check out Air. 2 amazing records they have is Moon Safari, and I might have to like bleep around this somehow. The Virgin Suicide soundtrack.
Oh yeah.
Their score for that movie. Incredible, and feels a lot like this song Collage.
Yeah. I also like the chorus a lot on this. It's a little unexpected of a chorus.
Which song?
Put It to Rest.
Okay, yeah.
Just going back to kind of finish up my thoughts on that. Yeah, I like the, a lot of the songs that we kind of look back on as our favorite have choruses like this where they're not super melodic necessarily.
Sure.
But they're just kind of like, like Liar by Paramore. I Know Alone by Haim. It's kind of in that wheelhouse. So
little melancholy behind it.
Yeah.
Some it seems like a late night melancholy album.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Here's my favorite, After Last Night. That song.
Okay.
That song really caught me off guard.
Okay.
It reminded me a lot of Girl Is a Gun off Halsey's last record, If I Can't Have Love, I Want Power. Now, that was produced by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross and had a lot of different influences, but that track, Girl Is a Gun, had this like sort of like chopped up acid house percussion, and After Last Night does as well. It's got really just this really fast thing that you can tell was like very manipulated in the studio, and I love when like percussion that already sounds good and is performed well is then like chopped up and like, presented in a more interesting way.
Yeah.
And it's just an influence that I did not expect to hear on this record. We have like these cool synth plucks that sound like they're from, what's that? Like Enya, Sail Away.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They sound like they're from that. These big reverb synth plucks. And then you sort of, the percussion stops, you sort of break down to these really nice snaps. And that's where the main melody is. I guess it's the chorus, but I love the melody here. And then when it kind of comes back in, there's this really cool high string note that's like very washed in reverb. You'll have to listen back and listen. It's sort of like in the left ear a bit, but it comes up and just really helps the chorus hit without doing something more expected, like a riser or even just a crash or something. It's just something to bring you back in. I thought this song was just like expertly put together.
Yeah, there's a lot of great stuff like that on this album. I think my favorite tend to be the lesser, the ones that are not quite so like literal pop anthems.
Yeah, and we kind of already got that on the last record. I don't think this album really, being a companion piece that's coming out so soon after her last album, I don't think it really needed this big anthemic pop banger.
Yeah.
This is so much more mature, I think. This is mature, like I said, evolution of an artist. Like, that's really what I'm hearing here.
Yeah.
And I want to see her branch out more. Yeah. There's influences on this record I didn't expect, and that's what I want to hear more of from Carly.
Yeah. I have to say also Stadium Love was really fun. That was probably my favorite.
It's your runner-up?
Aeroplane is my runner-up, but I want to shout out Stadium Love as a little, like you said, a little bit more forward-thinking.
Okay.
A little bit less 70s, almost like more 80s. And I just thought a really fun one. I think I could see that in concert being like a really great one.
In a stadium.
It's like meant to be.
I think she's still at arena level, but, but she'll get there. Stadium's next. Okay, my runner-up, probably Shadow. It's got this nice little Rhodes electric piano. I always like that. Sounds happy, sad.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that Shadow really showcases just how far the influence of PC music, Sophie, A.G. Cook has kind of like seeped into the mainstream, seeped into everything really, and Charlie as well. So what'd you guys think? I obviously want to hear your favorite tracks. Is it one of those? Yeah. Is it one of the runner-ups?
I think we have weird opinions, so I want to know, like, do you guys like Psychedelic Switch, Shy Boy? You know, those are some of the more popular ones, I think.
The opener was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the favorite track and why? And we'll probably do this again. I liked this, where instead of like a full deep dive into the record, it's just showcasing some tracks. Keep it a little more brief.
Yeah.
Keep that viewer retention up. Do me a favor, go ahead and subscribe if you'd like to stick around and talk about pop music as an art form with us. That's really what we do here, and we're starting to build a nice, fun community of people that like to hang out and do the same. So we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. This is Not Every Single. I'm Joe.
And I'm Stephanie.
Bye.